All righty. Well, as usual, I'm live, and I'm just waiting for anybody that's watching the replay on this. My name is Jonathan Lewis, and this is Building Connections. And on this particular live for YouTube, we're going to talk about everything metaphysical. And there's no limits or boundaries on this. I'm very grounded when how I approach the work, and I want to address questions and curiosities and anything that has to do with metaphysical, energy and all that. Okay, so that's what we're here for. And as usual, again, I'm just kind of waiting for somebody to join in so that we can kind of get right into it. Because I hate talking to a blank screen, but so far that's what we're doing here. Okay, we have our first person on. Hey, Rach. Okay, we have Jen on. Hello, Jen. Stacy. Hi. Okay, good. One above water. Hey. Hey, Rebecca. Kendra Barry. I did promise you guys, I don't know if you were on TikTok at all this week. I did promise I would go live Sunday night. If I didn't have to take my daughter up to school. But I did take my daughter up to school and I just got back about an hour ago. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Yes, I actually flew back. She's uh she's in medical school, and I just dropped her off. We drove up together. She drove, and then helped her move into her apartment for a couple of days, and then I just flew back. So I figured I'll go live for a little bit, say hello. How's everybody doing? It's been a little rough, right? This retrograde was brutal. This Mercury retrograde. So I'm assuming a lot of you have had a rough few weeks. I'm going to say. I know I did. I know a lot of people did, but we made it through, guys. We made it through. It's all good. Hey, XO. Hey, the nice Karen. I remember your name because it says like it's the nice Karen. Uh, oh, Rebecca. I'm so sorry to hear that. Rebecca lost a childhood friend today. I'm sorry, Rebecca. That sucks. Yeah, I understand, Rach. It's been a rough retrograde, but it's over. It's over. I mean, we got a little bit of the shadow period we got to get through, and then we're going to be okay. Phoenix, you're in Phoenix? Yeah, Phoenix is brutal right now. Oh, Miranda, yeah. Phoenix is absolutely brutal. So, otherwise, I hope everybody had a good weekend. I'm gonna share a couple stories that happened over this weekend for me before I'm gonna wait for a couple more people to get in, and then I'll get into it. But since I have the few people that are in so far, I'm just gonna announce real quick. I do have a Zoom group coming up on Tuesday night, and there's 2 spots left. I have I've been literally offline for a month. No, was it longer than a month? Yeah, it was like June. I don't know. June 14th was the last time I went live, I think. So since June 14th, I've been offline. Um, that's so June, July. Wow, that's over a month and a half. I think I just went online like a couple days ago on TikTok for the first time in a while. So I haven't had a chance to talk about the group. So I'm letting you know. I do have 2 spots left in my Zoom group on Tuesday night. And if 8 people in it, I'll be doing it with 8 people. It's no big deal. Oh, thanks, Marilyn. Thanks, Kathy. Yeah, I like I said, I took off this like last month, but I will be back. I'm going to be back on the circuit. I'll be back on the circuit of Sunday nights. And if I can't do Sunday nights, I'll try to do a Monday night. Okay. So if I miss a Sunday night, I'll try to do it the Monday night right after that. Hey, Amy. Hey, Dana. Okay, so I'm waiting to hit at least 50 people, and then I want to talk about this weekend. But hey, Gab. The wedding was fantastic. The wedding was fantastic. My son got married about on the 16th. Well, I would love to say it was a wedding, day, but it was actually a wedding week. It was an entire week of festivities. And if anybody knows me, I'm not very social. I can be social, but I'm not social. I'm very closed off when it comes to energy. Obviously, you know that, and it's one of the things you do to protect yourself when when you're this kind of open around things most of the time. So it's like very loud. Energy is very loud for me. So great people, great wedding. Not one complaint. It was amazing, but it didn't end. It was like one day after the next. There was something else going on, and I was like, okay, where are we going next? Well, we have to go to this side. We have to go to that side of the island. It was like nonstop for 5 days. So it was really wow. It was really incredible. Empty nester? No, I still got one left. Well, listen, my oldest daughter is out. She's been on her own for a little while now. My second daughter is the one I just took up to school, which I'll talk about in a second. My oldest son, who's my third, is the one that just got married. And my fourth is still home with me. So I got one. I got one. But my daughter has her own barn. That's the barn I built in the back. I built that for her. And that was the funniest story because when I built that barn, it was for her. And then right after I built it, she got into medical school. Some psychic I am that I couldn't figure that out before it happened, right? But yeah, I built the barn and then she ended up getting into medical school and had to go up, to live up at school. So it is what it is. So my son's like, "Can I have the barn?" I'm like, "No, you can't have the barn because she's gonna have it. It's like it's where she's gonna be when she gets back." So, but it's kind of cool. So yeah, I took her up to school this weekend. She drove the whole way. It was like 7.5 hours. And because I was reading the night before and I got done about 11 o'clock PM. And then by the time I wind down at night, it's almost like 2 in the morning. And then we had to drive up at 6. So she's like, I was like, "What time should I be ready?" She's like, 6 a.m. I'm like, in the morning, like 6 a.m. in the morning. She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh shit." So I got like 3 hours sleep. She drove the whole way up, which is great. Um, but on the way up, we stopped at a little diner, and this diner was in Pennsylvania. And I'm going to say it was not a very industrialized area of Pennsylvania, but we looked up the place and it was supposed to be really good. And I can't remember the name of it. It was like the Witch's Cafe, I think they called it, the Witch's Cafe, which was kind of cool. So when we went in, we sat down and it was all like, Halloween stuff around there, but apparently it's there all year round. That's what they call it. Um, that's what they have. And the waitress was absolutely amazing. Great personality, a lot of fun. And I don't know. I don't know if we couldn't understand what she was saying half the time or I'm just half deaf. I have no idea what it was. But she kept saying things and we kept misrepresenting what she said. One of them was, I ordered French toast because it was like 10:30 in the morning. By 10 o'clock, I was already ready for lunch, but it was only 10 o'clock. So we had breakfast. And I got French toast and the waitress dropped the French toast off. And I said, "Wow, this is a lot of French toast." She's like, "Yeah." And then she said to me, "Would you like butter?" And I said, "What?" She goes, "Would you like cider butter? Why can't I say it? Cider butter." And I said, "Cider butter? I've never had cider butter. I've had apple butter, but I've never had cider butter. I would love some." And she looked back at me with like a puzzled face. And then I looked at her and then it was like that moment of awkward silence. And then she goes, "No, I said a side of butter." So it was not my proudest moment because I made this big deal about having cider butter. And she basically just said, "Do you want a side of butter?" So then I humbly said right after we figured out what she was saying, "Of course I would love a side of butter." And then I proceeded to the rest of the time we were there to ask her if she would ever consider making cider butter. And she said, "You know what? It sounds like an idea. Maybe we should make cider butter." And she was very graceful around the whole thing. And then my daughter, she asked her what kind of bread that she wanted with her breakfast, and she said that um, she thought she heard, "Would you like meat with it?" She was getting eggs, and she said, "Do you want meat with it?" And she said, No, no, thank you. I don't want any meat with my breakfast." And again, the waitress looked at her and said, No, no, I asked you if you want wheat, like wheat bread." Um, So we were hysterical laughing because we're like, "What are we, like, morons today? Or like, oh, is our hearing plugged? We got wax in our ears? What's going on here?" But she had a blast with us. We had a blast with her. So that was a very, very funny moment. So it was kinda cool. Yeah, that was the highlight of the trip. Uh, yeah, I got her up in a couple days. It was a lot of fun. Got her into her apartment. She's all psyched. So, anyway, and then I was like, "I have to get back, Sunday night." So I flew back, um, I landed at about 6 a.m., and then it took me like an hour to get an Uber to get back here. So I got here just in time. I literally got here just in time to go live. So I'm hoping, I'm glad I'm here. I'm hoping you guys are, um, like I said, having a good night, and we're going to talk a little bit. All right, that's the end of talking. So we're going to get down to business. Again, metaphysics. Anything regarding metaphysics. That's what I want to talk about. Anybody gives me a subject, we're going to go with it. Anybody wants a question or has a question about metaphysics or anything they've heard on TikTok or on YouTube or anything else that they're questioning, going like, "Hey, is this legit? Is this real? Is this something I should be paying attention to?" Please, by all means, I'm coming from a grounded place. Everything that I say is based on readings that I've done or information I've gotten through readings. Okay, none of the stuff I'm talking about is like fourth dimension or seventh dimension or anybody that's channeling me through trans mediumship or anything like that. This is literally like, hey, I've done a lot of readings. Um, I've gotten a lot of information up in this noggin that I would love to share with you guys when it comes to helping you to use discernment about the work itself, or even on your own journey, your own path. I'm putting up a lot of posts lately on TikTok. I will be putting up more posts on YouTube. Like I've said in the past, I like to do like a bulk of posts and then kind of put them up on YouTube so you guys can see them as well. Okay. So if you're not on TikTok, they will be on here shortly. Okay. Cool. Hey, Charlene. Good to see you. Hey, Aaron. Good to see you. Also, guys, my gosh, I keep forgetting to do this. I have live events coming up in September. So if you're interested in being in a live event, meaning like in-person live events, I have one in Long Island, one in New Jersey, one in Baltimore, Maryland, and one in Pennsylvania right now. Those are the four that I have. They're consecutive. They're one day apart. So it's like September 15th to the 18th or 19th, I think. So I'll be doing those. Okay. If you're interested in that, again, hit the Stand Store link in my bio. I would love to see you there. It's that simple. I'm just going to do straight reading. That's what I'm going to do. I basically have chairs set up in a room. It's theater style. And I just walk in, say hello, do my explanation, and I just start reading. Okay. So if you want to see me live or have a reading in live or be a part of the group, that's really what it's for. I would love to see you there. Okay. Hey, Barbara. Hey, Catherine. Yes, I see you. Oh, thanks, Wildfire. According to Wildfire, there's 2 spots left at the, Tuesday Night Live Zoom group on 7/28 from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Good to see you there. Yes, I did used to have the hardest time with Stan Store, but I finally caught on to it. I sat in my bed when I just kept saying, go to the Stan Store link in my bio. Go to the Stan Store link in my bio. Go to the Stan Store link in my bio." Say that fast 5 times, right? Um, everybody's like, "Wow, you're here." Yes, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Gabriella, I don't know people that heal people with their hands. I don't. But somebody asked me a question about Reiki one night. I'm actually going to make a post about that. Um, and again, with anybody that heals with hands or anything like that, just be really careful around that stuff. Seriously, be really careful about it. If we're talking about everything around energy, if everything we talk about here is about or based on energy or energy work, you want to make sure that you're around the people that are in the right place for that to flow the right way. So if somebody's doing Reiki, which I do believe in, by the way, it's not like I'm not trashing Reiki in any way. I do believe in it. I think anything that's around healing or healing work or energy work is very, very positive. But it is based on who's using it. You know what I'm saying? Or who's doing it. So if somebody's not in a great place and they're doing that, you might not want to be around that. You might not want to be in that energy. If somebody does Reiki and they're all they do is complain about their life, and they're talking to you while they're doing Reiki, and like, yeah, this is going on, that's going on. That's not good. You don't want to be in that. Okay. So make sure you're in the right place, or I should say with the right person. Okay. Hands-on healing is great, Patty. No problem with it. Like I said, just be really careful who's doing it and their motivation and what's behind it. It's one thing to have a reading done, like if it's a tarot reading, it's one thing. If it's a mediumship reading, as well, that's different. That's just connecting with energy that's coming through. But when somebody's in your field, that's a whole nother story. So we want to make sure those people are coming from the right place, or else it can screw you up. It might just, you know what? Least case scenario, it puts you in a bad mood. So who wants to have a session and walk out in a bad mood, right? So that's the least of it, but it could be a lot worse than that. Let's see. Was there any way? Okay, so Diane, my mom passed in 1995. Is there any way to know if she has come back to another life? If she has, can I still connect with her on the other side with the media? Yeah, don't worry about that. I know your mom's on the other side. We don't come back that fast, so don't worry about it. I do believe in reincarnation, but it does not happen like, I always joke around and say you don't go up to, the other side with a ticket number at the deli counter and they're like serving 36, oh, that's me, I got to go back. It's not like that. It doesn't go that fast. I also don't believe this is the only place we go. I will keep saying that till I leave this planet. I do believe there's other places we go to learn lessons, and I do believe there's more to us than what you're seeing right now in this body. I believe that this is just a part of who we are on the other side. And they gave me a great analogy the other night. I want you to imagine that the whole of you on the other side is like the mothership. If you've ever watched like a science fiction movie where the alien ship kind of pulls up to the planet and it's like huge, it's like the size of a city. And then they have like a little small ship come out and then like land and then they do like reconnaissance on the planet. I want you to consider your life right now, that little small ship that's doing reconnaissance, that's learning things, lessons, living life experiences. And then eventually that small ship goes back to the mothership. And that's you on the other side. So you're a lot bigger than that. So your mom is on the other side right now as the mothership. The whole of her is on the other side. Eventually you will pass and you will be on the other side with the whole of you. You guys have known each other for millennia in different lifetimes and in different times. So I don't want you to think of your mom as a singular entity, whether she's here or there. And then are you going to miss her? Are you going to, are we not going to see each other? You absolutely are going to see her on the other side. So don't worry about it. Okay. Oh, we got a couple of trollers. Charlene says, so I'm looking to get a new dog. I'm so nervous. I kind of want one of my old dogs to reincarnate back. I asked for a sign that she would, and I got it. Still nervous or excited, not sure. Listen, worst case scenario, your dog that's passed will help you to get to the dog you need to. I do believe that our past pets help us to kind of guide us to where we need to go. And I'm not going to say technically that it would be your dog reincarnated, but your dog on the other side will bring you to the dog that would be closest to that. In other words, this one's good for your mom. Go here. So they will help guide us to the dog that represents them the best or represents what you need. Okay. Worst case scenario. Okay. Perfect analogy. Enabled ORISE. I got a new dog and 80% feel like is part of my past three dogs. Yeah. That's because you were guided to that one by the other ones. So yeah, that's how it works. So don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. It's all good. Our pets are with us. They're no different than I did a few readings on Thursday. I think that was my last night of readings last week. I was like throwing the flag in. I was like, I was reading every single night last week. And I'm like, this is my last night for a few days. And somebody's dog came through in the reading and one of the readings I did. And of course, it's kind of cool. The dogs can talk just as well as the people on the other side. So why wouldn't they help us? If our family helps us on the other side, why wouldn't our pets? So yeah, it's not an issue. Uh, I don't know if I can answer that question. Let's see. And again, guys, I'm really happy you're here tonight. Like I said, I've been slacking a little bit on here, but I will be on here again on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. So just keep an eye out for me. If you're watching me for the first time here, just subscribe. The old saying is, it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, but I have no problem. I love talking about the work. I've been doing it for 20 years, legit 20 years. I've been doing mediumship. So I always want to talk about everything metaphysical, and I'm here to help. That's the way I look at it. So when I go live on YouTube, I want to answer questions. I want to help out. I want to get you some real kind of grounded answers for things. I don't like the woo woo aspect of this work. I don't like that some people want to like make this, you know, s- w- I, the word spiritual is being bastardized. Let's just put it that way. I just don't like the word spiritual. It's like when somebody says they're spiritual, I get nervous. They're like, "Oh, I'm a very spiritual person." I'm like, "Ah, shit." I was like, "Now what? I gotta wait for the, this to happen, that to happen." So again, I want everybody to come at this work as if you are a human, living a life of humanity, learning lessons while you are a human, and when you get to the other side, you'll be a spirit again. So that connects. That all makes sense while we're here. You can use spirituality in your life, but don't give yourself over to it. You're not here to be a spiritual entity. You're here to be a human being, and you're here to learn lessons. The spirituality plays a role in that and helps us to make decisions and choices that work for us, hopefully, right? So again, a grounded approach to this work, I think, is something that's very needed. So Hannah, I'm very curious what your astrological signs are. I never talk about it. To me, that's like having a key to somebody's soul. It really is. People will ask me, "What's your birthday?" I'm like, "I'm not telling you." Like, why not? I'm like, because I'm just not. So I don't talk about it. Do I believe in astrology? Absolutely, I do. I mean, there are people who will figure it out, or they'll say this, that, or the other thing. But to me, it's like, nope, it's personal. Yep, one above water just wrote personal. Absolutely. Dad's good, Catherine. Oh wow, Wisconsin. My mom turned 100 last month. Are there loved ones who have graduated around her now? Mom has dementia. Oh, are there loved ones? Are there loved ones who have graduated around her now? I don't know what you mean by that, by graduated wise, was Wisconsin, but just know that they're around her. They are absolutely around her. We're never alone. We might feel alone, but we're not alone. I know a lot of you feel alone. I know you do. I just know you do. I can feel it. And there's moments in time where we feel completely alone. And then there's times when we feel like, all right, things aren't so bad. And then we go back to feeling alone again, right? You could be in a crowded room of people. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. A crowded room of people. And you just kind of standing there going, right? We've all had those moments, but you need to know that you're not alone. And that's what I'm hoping to shift is that type of thinking that no matter how alone you are not alone. They're always with us. Your guides are with you, your past family members are with you. And I'm talking generations. I'm not talking just your grandmother, or your grandfather, or your mom or dad. It could be your great 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 grandfather who's hanging out with you. So please know that you are never alone. That's the one thing I want to get through to everybody. I never really feel alone ever. It's because I understand how this works, but I never feel alone. Uh, Charlene, someone tickled my hand the other day, unless it's menopause. That's hysterical. Oh, oh, thanks, Tasha. How can I go about Hannah, how can I go about figuring out who is with me, who my guides are? The best thing you can do is if you had a certain relationship with certain people in life when they were still here, I would make a list of those people that you would like to connect with on the other side. Meaning, like, you know what? I haven't, I haven't really thought about my grandmother in a while, and just put her name down. Just write down the people that you would like to have a connection with. And then what I would like you to do is kind of think of each one of them and something about them while they were here that stood out around you that you could use symbolically to represent them. That's it. Maybe your grandfather owned a body shop, right? Maybe he owned a body shop. So anything connected to fixing cars, wax, um, um, paint, things that like body shop, anything connected to that, that could represent that grandfather when he comes through. You know what I'm saying? So if you see anything around that, you have to go like, oh, that's my grandfather. It's really that simple. It really, really is. We're just all looking for that big wow thing, and that's just not how it works. So pick something that represents that person and then say to them, okay, from now on, when I see this or when I feel this or when I hear this, whatever it is that you pick, that's going to represent that person. And if they know that, they will use it to come through for you. You just have to trust it when it happens. Because a lot of us don't do that. We just say we will, and then it happens, and we're like, I don't know. Should I trust that? And they're going like, yeah, trust it. It's that simple. Okay. That's the best way to make connections with your loved ones on the other side. Use something to represent them. I would say use something visual most of the time, but I'm a visual person. But there's a lot of people that are very connected to music, and they use music to represent them. And I'll keep saying this. One of the um, widest um, library of musical references comes from one of my colleagues, Andy Ray. I She uses music for everything. It's incredible. So there's no limits. You know what I'm saying? Music's not my thing, so to me, it's intriguing to watch. But everybody's got their thing. Every medium's got their thing that they use to make references to or connections with. Okay, so pick what works for you. There's no rules on this. That's the other thing too. I've had people ask me like, "Hey, what does this mean? What does that mean?" And I go, "I don't know. It's not my symbol. What does it mean for you?" Try to stop looking outside of yourself for what that answer is. Just accept the fact that you're having a conversation with yourself about it, and that is the correct answer. And once you believe in that, it has power. Once you believe in it, it has power. If you question it, it's kind of like, well, we really can't use that anymore. You're questioning it too much. Okay. You're welcome, Hannah. Marilyn, how have you passed this part of you on to your children? Do they have your gifts? Um, I think everybody's got some sort of aspect of it, in their own way. But I think you really have to work at it. This is not something, you know, it. First of all, the word gift, right? You'll hear mediums talk about it, but we've been saying this for 20 years. The word gift implies that it's given. I do believe this ability of sorts is something you're born with on some level. I really do. Um, and I always use the example of, Michael Jordan was an amazing basketball player, right? And there might be another Michael Jordan out there, but maybe he works on a farm. Maybe that other Michael Jordan lives, in Wisconsin on a farm, and he's never going to bounce a basketball his entire life. So there could be another Michael Jordan, or even better than Michael Jordan, that will never in this lifetime get to bounce a basketball. They'll never know that they were that good. And then there's those who get the opportunity to bounce the basketball and go, hey, I kind of like this. And then they work at it. Nobody's excellent at basketball when they first start. It takes time and practice. So just like this, and same thing in construction. I know plenty of guys who do construction who do or consider themselves framers, right? Some guys are phenomenal framers. They're craftsmen. Others should not be using the term framer. It should be butcher. I've seen those guys too. So not everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. And that's why I'm such a pain in the ass about this work because it doesn't just because somebody wants to be a medium or psychic and they're putting all the time in and they're learning doesn't make them a good medium or psychic. It just means they're well educated in the field. And there's a lot of those out there. And be aware of them too, because they're the ones that are talking about the work all the time, but you never see them doing it. They're too afraid to do it on lives. They're too afraid because they talked up such a big story about themselves and they made it so wondrous that now they can't fulfill it. They can't fill the shoes of it. So it's like almost like it works against you. And that puts fear as their motivation around it. And which means if they're having fear, the column of light is closed up. They're not going to make good connections. So it kind of works against you when you come out that way. So if you're somebody that's out there talking about the work and how this, that, the other thing, and then but you don't do your work, you don't do the readings, you don't post your readings that you do live, who's going to believe you? Nobody should believe you. Anytime somebody's talking about their work, uh, okay, that's fine. I thought somebody was writing something negative. Anytime anybody's talking about their work, they should also be doing it. That's how you keep it like this, guys. So if you're a medium, if you're talking about your work, do your work. Because if you do this too much, it's going to be too far away. And then it's going to be like you're looking up at it going like, I can't do that. I talked a good talk, but I can't do that. So always try to match what you're talking about and then you'll grow. Okay. Uh, Yeah, DJ Jefferson, keep the ego out of it. Well, here's the thing: you got to have enough ego to actually do it, because it's not the easiest thing to stand up in front of a whatever amount of people and do something. So you have to have a little bit of ego. You have to have enough to go like, all right, I can take a chance on this. I feel confident that I'm doing what I'm doing. So ego does play a role in it, but you can't have the kind of ego where you just want it to be about you. That's the difference. So you gotta have enough ego to do the work, but not the kind of ego that pulls you out of the work and makes it about you, because then it gets dangerous. And those people that do that, that are on this app or that are on TikTok, I consider them to be more influencers rather than metaphysicians. And listen, I know I talk about this a lot, and I'm going to keep talking about it. And I have a lot of posts in the chamber regarding this kind of stuff. I talk about it all the time because it's not talked about enough. It really isn't. So my goal is to help, not hurt. And again, I appreciate you guys being here tonight. I'm going to say it again because my guys keep telling me I don't talk about it enough. I have a Zoom group coming up on Tuesday night. I had two spots left before I come on, Wildfire, post it. I had two spots left before I did this live tonight. There it is, Wildfire. Two spots left for this Tuesday's live Zoom group, 7:28 from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern time. Wildfire, every time you post, I'm going to say that. And I appreciate your help. You know what? Wildfire came out of nowhere and just started helping out. So I really appreciate that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I have two spots left on the Zoom group this Tuesday night. It's from 8 to 11 p.m. 9, 10, yeah, it's 3 hours, but I usually go longer than that. So everybody gets a reading. I don't leave. But the cool part is you get to watch other people get a reading too and watch how it's all connected. That's my favorite part of doing the groups. It's really all connected. Um, Rach stealing my gig. I don't mean to steal like Rach, I promise. Oh, Wildfire, that's cool. Aaron and I mod for Andy Ray. I didn't know. That's cool. Great medium, by the way. Someone posted they took one spot. All right. I'm down to one spot left for Tuesday night. We got one spot left, one spot left. Anybody get taken? One spot, one spot left. Anybody get taken? Away, take away, take it. One spot, one spot. Yes, I like to have fun. Tasha just said I'm gonna get it. Listen, we're gonna have fun. Listen, we're gonna have fun. I like to have fun in my groups. And what I like to do at the end of the group is I do like a psychic round. In other words, like once we're done with the mediumship part and I'm kind of like tapped out, I'll get into psychic stuff, meaning like anything you guys want to know about yourselves, anything around somebody around you or connected to you, I will get into that as well. It's a pretty well rounded kind of thing. And like I said, I go for about 3.5 hours. So Moonlight just said, this beats mopping the floors. Well, thank you. I just did a lot of that this weekend with my daughter. So when I got up there, like I said, I took her up to school. When we got there, I put her desk together. I put her bed together. I put her couple lamps together. I put her couch together. Um, then there was a couple other things. She's like a neat freak and a clean freak like me. So she pulled apart her sink in the bathroom. We cleaned that. It was crazy. We did a great job. But me and her together, crazy. Me and her together, awesome. When it comes to like cleanliness, and she's so funny because they're talking here and like, well, we had everything industrially clean, and she's like, mm-hmm, because I know her. She doesn't care what anybody says about what's clean. She's gonna pull it apart anyway. And when anybody comes over my house, if they try to help out to do the dishes or anything like that, they just give up because she's standing there going like, you gotta clean that part. They're like, yeah, we know. And she's like, and they're like, you do it. She's like, thank you. And then she just jumps in and starts cleaning. So yeah, we're both clean freaks. So it worked out well. Oh man. Melanie, can you two come to my place? Listen, here's the cool part. When I build a house, I built some pretty big houses. And she cleans them for me. I don't know if you've seen a house after it's been first, like freshly built construction, but when they say new construction, it's never clean. It's an absolute mess because all the sheetrock dust and all the other stuff that's happening when they sand the floors. It's just dust everywhere, right? And it's like things that are stuck to things that shouldn't be there. So she goes in there and just cleans it for me. And I used to pay her to clean the houses for me. She was that good. Like I don't play. And what's funny is I would used to have to pay like 4 people to do the job that she does. So, and I do get the family discount. Uh, Echo Throttle, how many houses do you build at a time? Lately, it's been one at a time, but we used to do like 15 at a time. It's just there's not enough going on for that. It's changed a little bit. And the houses I'm building now are much bigger. So it's like building one is enough to take up space. The last house I built before this one was 14,000 square feet. That's the one I built right before this one. So it was a big house. And this one I'm building now is about 4,700 square feet. And then the one before that one was about 8,700 square feet. So they're pretty big. So it takes a lot of time to build them. Let's see. Hey Amazon. Amazon Ria 83. I know you. I think you have on TikTok a hat on your face. I'm trying to do a better job of trying to remember certain people when they go when they come on the live with me. And I think if I'm not mistaken, you have like a hat on your TikTok. So on your TikTok platform. Yeah, building is in my blood. I've been doing it my entire life. My father was a builder. My both my grandfathers were builders. So it's in the blood. Amazon, I do. See? Um, one above water. Do spirit guides have office hours, or am I accidentally calling them at 3 a.m. every time I can't sleep? Yeah. So again, don't think human. Time is not an issue for them. Past, present, future happening all at the same time. Besides that, they probably know when you're going to ask for help. So don't worry about that. TD. Hey, John, you just read me Thursday. Dare I ask? That's cool. What was your name on the reading? If I read you Thursday, what was your first name? Because that's all I get is a first name and a phone number. Yes, I'm asking you to validate that. Patricia. Yep, I read it, Patricia. Okay, very cool. Welcome to YouTube. Uh, Wildfire in our eyes. Yay, almost 70 people. Yeah, we're getting there. It's a little slow. We used to be up to 100, but I think that's because I haven't been going live as much. So they kind of like, I guess YouTube has an algorithm as well. Sarah, you read me recently. I was Catherine, aka Sarah Young. Yeah, if it's further back than third, because I only remember like the last set of readings I did, not the readings, but the names. And if I don't remember the name, I might recognize the voice. That's what I can do. I can recognize the voice. Otherwise, it's a complete blur to me. And people say like, "Oh, you don't remember stuff from your readings?" And I said, "No, thank God." It's actually a blessing that I don't remember stuff. And it doesn't mean that it can come up again in another reading. Like if I've read somebody more than once, one of my rules is I'll ask people when was the last time I read you? And they say like, oh, 6 months ago, 8 months ago. And in my head, I always say to their family on the other side, okay, give me new stuff. I don't want the same stuff. I want different information. And I'll usually ask at the end of the reading, hey, did this feel different? Did you get different information? Did different people come through? Yes. Or, yeah, same people, different information. It's one of my requirements if I'm going to read somebody more than once. I don't want the same information. Now, if I know something about you or remember something about you, that actually gets in the way of the reading. It's not a plus, it's actually a negative because it puts focus on the thing I already got. And then I feel like I have to build on top of that. Whereas it would happen naturally if I don't know anything, right? If I don't know anything at all, I can take whatever first comes into my head. But if I know something about somebody, it makes it much more difficult. Now, there are people that I've read probably 12 or 13 times, and most of their readings are all about current events. So if I know or feel like I know their family too well in some way, I require them to come through with current events a lot. So it's like what's going on in their lives right now, what just happened, what they just did yesterday, something that just happened around their son that was around, something that happened connected to that or the other thing. I always like to double down or triple down on information. I don't just take the first thing that shows up. So that's my requirement, my rule. That's how I can read people more than once, if I've read them quite a few times. I think the most I've read one person was 16 times, which is insane. But yeah, me too, Tasha. The current event stuff is my favorite. Charlene, you read me and you pointed out a throat thing going on with my son, so I took him to the doctor, and he had to have his tonsils out. I was so thankful. That's cool. Thanks, Charlotte. Thanks for acknowledging that. See, this kind of feedback's important because it lets me know that I'm not nuts when I say things and things are actually happening the way it was pulled out. Remember, there's one part of a reading that we're not going to know about, and that's the future. So, past, present, and future or each 33.333% of a reading, or has the potential of being 33.333% of a reading. So past and present are things we can validate in the moment because people are like, yeah, that's my birthday, or yeah, that happened the other day, or whatever. But future stuff, we don't know what that is. We don't know what that is. So I always tell people, just make sure you write it down because it might come up in the future. It might be something they're giving us information around. Is it like in this case here, was it a warning? I'm gonna say it was not a warning, Charlene. I'm gonna say that it was gonna happen anyway. It was something that was gonna be something that was, brought up, and they were just letting us know that it was going to take place. It's their way of letting you know that they are seeing things and that they are around. When future information actually plays out, it is the coolest thing ever. And I appreciate you guys having feedback on here. Like if I've read you before, but I don't have a thing on my website where it says like, if you'd like to leave a testimonial or anything like I don't do that. I should have done it. I don't do that. So I don't mind you writing stuff on here. Tracy Austin, my reading in March was bang on. Oh, good. I like that. Thank you. Okay, this is cool. Marilyn, you've read me 4 times, every time spot on. Friends validated it. I trust you totally. Good. I appreciate that. Thank you. And if you guys are seeing the comments, I don't want to read everyone. I appreciate what you guys are saying. It's really, I want people to understand how this works. So you writing these things and other people are reading it, you know? So that's good. So they understand how the work is. And the whole point of this is I want you to trust what I say, like on a live. So if you know I'm doing readings and the readings are going the way that they should be, hopefully, and people are getting what they need to hear out of it, I'm hoping that you trust what I say around the work itself. And you guys all know that I have an issue with the work right now, and I'm making it very clear. I do have an issue with the work and where it's going. I see it very clearly, and I don't know why people don't see it. And I will keep talking about it and keep bringing it up. And yeah, it gets a little monotonous after a while, but oh well, oh well. That's the way it's got to go. I'm feeling like I need to point it out. Okay, what? Okay, anybody else have a question about the work? Anything I can help you with right now? Anything you want information around the work? Connect to the work. Building's going good. Thank Dexter. Thank you, Dexter. I have to keep pointing it out. I have to keep pointing it out because everybody wants to do this. They just want to do this. They don't want to see it. It's almost like a self-absorbed kind of way of looking at things. And it's funny because when I talk about it, everybody talks about my ego, which I laugh at. There's a couple of guys that are, doing this work too, that are, had some comments on my posts, and they were like, it sounds like a come from place of ego. And I'm like, oh, shove it. uh, okay. Moonlight, thank you. We appreciate you bringing attention to this side of the work. I know, but it does annoy people. I have to say, some people just want me to just like, be like, everything's wonderful and spirituality is great and we all love each other. It's just so nice to see everybody so happy together, right? And it's just not the case. People are people. Everybody's got their downsides. Everybody's got their issues. Everybody's got their jealousies and their ego issues. Everybody's got that. I'm just too old for this at this point. So I don't really care anymore. So I just want to do my last, push of effort to kind of get people to see things the way they're supposed to see it around the work and just leave it at that. That's all there is to it. Uh, uh, Melanie, you should come to Australia. Have you been there before? How about if I told you I was there 14 times already? Let's see. Yeah, I've been to Australia at least 14 times. I did private readings while I was there. It wasn't advertised, Melanie. I was just there. I've been to all parts of Australia many times. I've been there about 14 times now. Um, no, DJ Jefferson, are you touring now? I am not. I am literally just starting up in September. Literally for the first time in like since 2014, I'm doing some live group events. I'm going to do a couple on the East Coast first. If any of you want to be in a live event that I'm doing, meaning like I'm going to be in a room, I'm going to have a bunch of chairs in front of me, and I'm going to start reading. And that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to be doing that on Long Island on September 15th. I will be doing it in New Jersey on the 16th. I will be doing it in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania on the 17th, and I will be doing it in Baltimore, Maryland on the 18th of September. Those are the first four that I put up. Those are the only ones I'm doing. Guys, there's not going to be a lot of people there. There's no way for me to advertise it. There's no way for me to put it out there. So it's not going to be very big. It's not, first of all, it wasn't big in the first place. I didn't have a lot of seats or a lot of people. I wanted to keep it small, but it's not going to be really big. I haven't talked about it. I haven't put it out there. So if you want to go to a small, intimate kind of like gathering for a night, show up. Love to see you there. Just go click the stand store link in my bio. It'll all come up. Just scroll down more toward the bottom. You'll see the four events. Okay. Where in New Jersey? I think it's in the Meadowlands. Long Island will be in Melville. And again, It's not going to be big. There's not going to be a lot of people there. I'm not going to sit here and tell you like it's going to be sold out. It's not going to be sold out. It's impossible for that to happen. You would have to advertise it. You'd have to like get it out there in different ways than just once in a while talking about it. So trust me when I say it's not going to be sold out. It'll hopefully be a nice group of people, and that's all I can tell you. So as I do it more and more, that's how it builds. But I haven't done it in a long time, so I'm not expecting anything. I'm just going to go there, do my job, and leave. So if you're interested in being a part of that, by all means, I'd love to see you there. Okay. I do go out to the West Coast, but again, I don't have anything set up for that. Based on how things go in September, I will be hopefully adding on additional places to visit and go do. Like I said, I used to do these a long time ago, but I used to hit Texas, I would hit California, I would hit Seattle, I would hit upstate New York, I would hit Florida. There's a lot of places I would go. Arizona, I went to quite a few times. Matter of fact, I just put a post up today where on TikTok where somebody talked about me reading them, and they said like you were the only one that could read me in Arizona, but they had to go mention it was 20 years ago. And I had that moment. I was doing a live at the moment, and I was answering their question. I was reading their question like, "Oh, you read me like 20 years ago," and I'm like, "20 years ago." And like it hit me like really hard. I was like, "Shit," like that. But I posted it. It was funny. Hold on Vince, you just jumped out at me. It said, been to 3 events from Jonathan. Average group was around 50 or so, including John Edward on one of them. Vince, I don't know why you're jumping out at me, but are you in Texas? No. Yes. Are you in Dallas? Yeah, you are. Okay. I just literally saw Texas and they pulled me to Dallas. So that's probably to validate you. Maybe I should go to Dallas. That's weird. Vince, when was the last time I was like I read a group for with you in it? What year was that? And it was Dallas. That's so weird. Okay. I'm putting Vince on the spot. I'm just waiting for the answer. 10 years ago. That's crazy. Yeah, they just literally showed me. As soon as I saw your name, I saw Texas, and then they pulled me right to Dallas. So that might be their way of saying like next spot on the trip, next thing to put up there. So I appreciate that, Vince. Thank you. Yeah, I used to go to Dallas and San Jose. No, San Jose. Yeah, San Jose. San Antonio. San Antonio. Okay. Dalen Gould, does the way mediumship is heading these days with so many people doing it online affect the way you practice it yourself now? No. It doesn't change anything the way I do it, but I am having an issue with how it's being done online. I really am. It's a great question, and you will constantly see me posting things around this. If you're on TikTok, I've already posted quite a bit around it, pissed quite a few people off, and I will continue to do so until I feel like it's again, at least moving in the right direction. I'm not here to like change the way things are being done, but I am. I do have a voice, and I plan on using it. I do plan on using it. Tasha, that's cool. Yeah, so my issue, and I'll put it out there again, and I will constantly put it out there because I really want other practitioners not to listen to what I'm saying, but to just kind of ponder what I'm saying. And if they talk to their own guides based on what I'm saying, what kind of reaction are they getting? Objectively, not subjectively, objectively. Am I crazy or am I just listening? That's what I'm asking practitioners to do. And I'm not talking about the ones that started doing this work a month ago or a year ago and are now mentoring other people. That's not the people I'm talking to. I'm talking to the ones that have been in this work for 8 years, 9 years, 5 years, something where they're like, they've got their feet in the water. They've been doing it for a while. Are they really liking where it's headed? Do they think that this work is where it should be right now? Or is this the best representation of this work? I don't think so. I think it's heading downhill. I think it's becoming way too easy to kind of punch holes in everything, and that's my problem with it. So instead of attacking somebody who's bringing up the subject in a way where we're protecting it, I think we need to kind of look at it a little differently. And maybe that's my ego talking, but I don't think so. I don't think so. All right. Who else wants to ask me a question? Oh, thanks, DJ. Here's the cool part, DJ. I don't give a rat's ass on how I look. I really don't. I don't care what anybody's thinking. I don't care what they say about me. So anybody that's thinking like, "Oh, we're gonna slap back at this or whatever," go at it. Be my guest. I could care less. The reality is, I'm saying it for a reason. I know that I sleep well at night. I really do. I put my head on the pillow and I'm out just like that. No issues because it really is about it coming from the right place. Catherine, my Sunday is great. Thanks for asking. You know what? Karen just wrote the nice Karen. Wish I were more like you. You know what, Karen? This didn't happen overnight. This didn't happen overnight. I was a people pleaser for a lot of years growing up. I was somebody that always wanted to make sure everybody was okay, everything was, in the right place, everybody was in a good spot, and I started to recognize that that's not really doing me any good because people have to meet you 50, halfway. People have to meet you halfway. If you're constantly doing everything for everybody or you're worried about what everybody's thinking or what they're saying, then you're not growing into who you need to be in this lifetime. You can't be the one doing everything for everybody or and worried about what they're going to think because whether those people realize it or not, they will unconsciously use that against you. It's like a weapon. They know how to make you feel a certain way. They know how to make you feel guilty. They know how to make you feel sad. They know how to make you feel glad based on what they're doing or saying around you. So if you're one of those people, you have to recognize that you need to realize in a really big way that those people have to meet you at the 50-yard line. You can't keep being the one that takes care of everything and then worried if there's a little bit of like, disruption in the force. It's going to take you down always. You can't care what other people are thinking. And you also have to have self awareness. I have a post coming out around that too. You can't just be that person that says, I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. But then you're like, you're not doing the right thing either. You have to have self awareness. You have to be able to look at yourself and say, what works here and what doesn't? What am I doing that I don't think I would like from somebody else? You have to have self awareness. You have to have compassion. You have to have a little bit of understanding, but mostly you have to have self empowerment and you have to have boundaries because those are the only things that set you free in this life. That's my advice for today. You're welcome, Karen. And you know what? I always say if I've helped one person tonight, then I did my job. So I appreciate you saying that. Cool. All right. We got a couple minutes left. Next time I go live, I will be doing a reading on here, okay? I just literally I wasn't even gonna go live tonight, but I was like, I got in the door, I threw my luggage down on the floor and I came down here and did the live because they were making me feel like I needed to go live tonight. So I wanted to be on here. Oh, cool, DJ. I'm glad. Remember, you have to be self-centered, not selfish, but self-centered. If you take care of you first and you make sure that you're benefiting in certain ways around situations that you're in, and make sure that you have to be coming from the right place and you can't be selfish, but I do encourage everybody to be self-centered because if you're really good energy or a good egg, imagine what help you would be to those same people if you're really feeling good about where you're at. Imagine what you could do for those people if you wanted to. But if you're constantly worried about what they're thinking, what they're saying, then you're not living your life, you're living theirs. And that's where the break is. and too many of us have that. I couldn't do the work that I'm doing if I was worried about what everybody's going to think, right? Because then I would be like, oh, what if this sounds crazy? Or, they're showing me that, but, what if that sounds nuts? I'm going to keep this really safe. And that's what a lot of people do with this work. They keep it safe. They want to stay in the safe zone. They don't want to step out of the box. There's only a couple of people that I know. Literally, I can count on 3 fingers. And I'm sure you guys know who they are. But they don't play games. They don't care what you're going to think. And maybe they might come across a way sometimes where it's like a little harsh or a little bold, whatever. But that's the way it should be. Confidence of your work, confidence to say what you need to say, because that's what's going to help that person. Not saying what they want to hear, saying what they need to hear, because that's what this work's about. And you can't care if you don't look good in somebody's eyes. You do your job and you're done. That's it. DJ just wrote Andy, John, Jonathan. Yep, pretty much. Um, I don't know, Gabrielle. She just asked if Long Island flooded. I don't know. I was out of here for the weekend, bringing my daughter up to school this weekend, so I have no idea. If they had rain here, I have no idea. All right, cool. So it's 10:01. I said I would go live for an hour. I will be live on here again next Sunday on YouTube. I will also try to post some stuff on YouTube this week so you guys can see it. I'm going to say again, I have. Oh, I don't know if the Zoom group Wildfire is the Zoom group sold out yet. Wildfire might be off by now. I've been on for a whole hour. I feel like I'm abusing my privileges here. She 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 just wrote, "I'll go check." You don't have to check. I'm only kidding. But if it's not sold out, if there's one left or whatever, guys, I'm doing a group on Tuesday night, okay? So if you're interested in that, go check it out. If that one's sold out by any chance, I will be putting up another one for probably August or an end of August. Okay. Still one spot left? Okay. So there's one spot left. It is Tuesday night, so you have till then, so don't worry about it. You guys have a great week. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. And don't forget, I also have live events coming up in September. So if you want to be a part of that, go check them out. The description's there, everything's there. So just go check it out. Just go to the Stand Store link in my bio and just pull that up. Everything's there. Private readings, which I do have spots for in August. Do I? I think there's a couple spots left in August, but then I have September up as well. Okay. All right, guys, have a great night. I will talk to you soon and have a great week. Okay. Everybody take care.